Naples has a way of tricking people. On paper, it sounds like a beach trip. Then you get there and realize one of the best days can happen on a 2.25-mile boardwalk at Corkscrew Swamp Sanctuary. And another can take you through 170 acres at Naples Botanical Garden. That's why this trip works better when each day feels different. This plan starts with Old Naples, gives you a real wild Florida day, slows down with gardens and waterfront stops, then wraps up around Clam Pass and the north side. If it's your first time, Old Naples is the easiest base for the classic version of the city. North Naples makes more sense if you want quicker access to the beaches and northern stops. A car or rideshare helps. Old Naples is walkable in pockets, and a great timing tip at the end can save the whole trip. Day 1. Old Naples, beach access, and a first day that actually helps the city click. Naples can seem a little too polished at first. Day 1 fixes that fast. Once you're actually walking Old Naples instead of just driving through it, the place feels easier, friendlier, and less like a postcard that forgot real people live there. Start at Jane's Cafe on 3rd. That's the right breakfast for this part of town because you're already where the morning needs to happen. Sit down, ease into it, and let the trip start like a trip. There's no prize for sprinting out the door and treating the first morning like a scavenger hunt. Once breakfast is done, stay on foot and let 3rd Street South do the work. This is where Naples starts making sense. The palms, the courtyards, the little side turns, the old cottages nearby, the restaurants tucked into pretty corners, it all gives the city some personality right away. You're not trying to conquer the district, you're just getting your bearings in the part of town that explains why people like Old Naples so much in the first place. That matters because a lot of first-time visitors get here and immediately chase a beach photo, a dinner reservation, and some vague idea of downtown all at once. It gets messy fast. 3rd Street settles everything down. You see how close the Gulf is, how compact this pocket is, and why staying nearby makes the trip smoother. After you've had your walk, head over to the beach, but do it smart. Don't make the mistake of aiming your whole morning at the pier. The pier is closed during the rebuild, so trying to force the Old Naples pier routine just wastes time. The better move is using one of the nearby public beach access points, with Broad Avenue South or 13th Avenue South being the simple choices. You still get the Gulf, the sand, and that first real Naples moment without starting the trip annoyed. Keep this beach stop short on purpose. That's important. You're not spending half the day baking here just because it's Florida and you feel like you're supposed to. You're giving yourself a proper first look, getting your feet in the sand, and moving on while the day still has some shape to it. Parking is where people make the first dumb mistake in Naples. They assume every beach end is basically the same, pull over wherever looks open, and only read the signs after they've already mentally checked out. Don't do that. Use metered parking where it's clearly posted. Watch the time, and if you walked over from 3rd Street instead of moving the car at all, even better. Vacation should not begin with a parking argument. By late morning, drift back inland and let 5th Avenue South take over for a bit. 3rd Street feels tucked in and close to the water. 5th feels broader and more central, like the city stretching its legs. Walk a few blocks, step into a gallery if one catches your eye, and take your time. If you want a shady reset, Cambier Park is right there and makes a good breather. The big thing on 5th is knowing when to stop. You do not need to turn it into a shopping marathon. You do not need to prove you saw every block. Naples gets a lot better when you stop overworking simple good parts of the trip. A short wander, a little shade, maybe a coffee or a cold drink, and you're good. That already gives the day a nice shape. You started in the historic core, got your first beach look without falling into the pier trap, and saw the city from 2 different angles before dinner. That's a much better first day than charging around in circles trying to do Naples in one shot. For dinner, stay in the same pocket and go to Campiello. Night 1 should feel like a real evening out, but it should still feel easy. That's what makes this a good fit. You're not dragging yourself across town. You're letting the same neighborhood carry the day into dinner, which makes the whole thing feel smoother. After that, take one more slow walk under the palms and call it. No giant finale, no extra mission. Day 1 should end with Naples feeling familiar, not with you feeling cooked. Tomorrow changes the mood completely, and that shift is a lot more fun when the first day stayed calm. Day 2, an early start, Corkscrew, and the Naples day that surprises people. Set the alarm for this one. Not painfully early, just early enough that the day stays on your side. Corkscrew is better in the morning, and showing up late is the fastest way to turn a really good outing into a hot, rushed one. Keep breakfast quick at Empire Bagel Factory in East Naples. This is not the day for a long restaurant morning with endless coffee refills and no urgency. Grab breakfast, get moving, and enjoy the fact that you're heading toward a part of the area that looks nothing like yesterday. The drive out starts changing the mood before you even get there. The polished streets fall away, the city thins out, and Naples suddenly feels less manicured and more like actual South Florida. That shift is a big reason this day belongs in the itinerary. Without it, the trip can start feeling too neat. Once you get to Corkscrew Swamp Sanctuary, give it the morning it deserves. The boardwalk is 2.25 miles, so this is not some 5-minute nature stop where you step out, squint at a tree, and call it good. It's a real walk through cypress, marsh, open water, and long, quiet stretches where everyone naturally gets a little quieter. That boardwalk is what makes the place so good. You're not wandering around without direction, and you're not dealing with a hike that feels like work. You just keep moving through it and keep looking. Some days the stars are the birds, some days it's the gators, some days it's the trees and the stillness and how far away yesterday suddenly feels. Bring water, wear shoes you can actually walk in. Check the hours before you go because Corkscrew closes earlier in the warmer stretch of the year than people expect, and buying tickets online is the smart move. This is one of those places where a little planning saves a lot of heat, standing around, and pointless irritation. What makes Corkscrew so useful in a 4-day Naples trip is that it widens the city. After this, Naples stops being just beach access, nice streets, and dinner spots. You get a side of the area that feels older, quieter, and more real. When you come back toward town, resist the urge to pile on one more giant attraction just because you still have some daylight. Day 2 gets weaker when it starts trying too hard. Gordon River Greenway is the clean follow-up if you still want to stay outside. It gives you another easy stretch of nature in town with 140 acres and 2.5 miles of trails, so you keep the outdoors feel without asking your legs to do another full event. If Corkscrew already did the job and you're done with serious walking, make the smart swap and use Baker Park instead. That move saves the day from getting heavy. Baker Park gives you an easy riverside stretch, some shade, and just enough fresh air to round things out without making you wonder why you ever left the hotel pool. That kind of choice matters on a real trip. You're not building a fantasy version of Naples where every hour has to be maximized. You're building a trip people would actually enjoy. Dinner should stay low-key tonight, so Lake Park Diner is a good call. After a day built around boardwalks, wildlife, and a fair amount of walking, a loud, fancy dinner would feel completely off. You want something comfortable here, something that lets the day settle. By the time you head back, you should feel nicely tired, a little sun-softened, a little pleasantly worn out, and a lot more aware that Naples has more range than people give it credit for. That's the perfect setup for day 3 because the next day slows things down again, just in a totally different way. Day 3, garden shade, bayside wandering, and a southside day with less effort. By day 3, a slower morning sounds pretty good. Yesterday gave you cypress, boardwalks, and a decent amount of walking. Today gives you greenery, shade, water, and a looser kind of wandering. Start with breakfast at Country House East. This is a sit-down morning, and it should feel like one. No rushing, no grabbing something in a paper bag, no pretending every day of the trip has to start at the same speed. From there, head to Naples Botanical Garden and let that be the main event. The garden covers 170 acres, which is a big enough number to matter. This is not a throwaway stop you breeze through because you had 45 minutes before lunch. It needs real time, and it earns it. The best way to do the garden is slowly. Don't turn it into homework. Don't march from section to section trying to prove you saw everything. Just move through it like a normal person on vacation. Stop when something catches your eye. Take the shade when it shows up. Let the water, the planting, and the quieter corners do their thing. That slower pace is exactly why this stop belongs here. Day 1 had the classic Naples streets, Day 2 had the wild side. Day 3 gives you something softer in the middle. It still feels polished, sure, but not in the same way downtown does. It's calmer and more forgiving. Morning is the right time for this place. A late garden arrival can make the whole outing feel stickier and more tiring than it needs to. Buy tickets ahead, bring water, and get there early enough that you're enjoying yourself instead of managing the heat. That one choice changes the whole feel of the day. When you're ready to leave, keep the second half of the day near the water, but change the mood completely. Tin City is the best follow-up because it gives you a rougher, older, more dockside version of Naples. After the garden, that change feels good. The city loosens its collar a little here. Walk the waterfront, poke through a few shops if something genuinely looks fun, and let the place be what it is. This part of town is better when you don't oversell it. You're there for the Old Bay feel, the boats, the boardwalk energy, and the fact that Naples can still feel a little scrappier near the water. If you want to stretch that second half a bit, stay around the Naples Bay area and keep walking. Not far, just enough to enjoy the shift. This is one of those afternoons where the city doesn't need you to overplan it. The setting does a lot of the work. Also, keep that timing tip in the back of your mind, because this is the kind of day that changes a lot depending on when you visit. Garden shade and waterfront wandering are much more enjoyable when you're not fighting the thickest crowd pressure of the year. For dinner, keep the waterfront thread going and head to the dock at Creighton Cove. It's been around forever, and it fits the day because it feels rooted in Naples instead of trying to impress you with some giant performance. After a garden morning and a dockside afternoon, that kind of dinner just makes sense. No need to turn the evening into anything bigger than that. One quiet moment near the water, one easy ride back, and you're done. That leaves just enough in the tank for Day 4, which should feel like an exhale, not a recovery day disguised as a vacation day. Day 4, Clam Pass, the north side, and a last day that stays light without feeling lazy. The last day should feel easy in the best way. By now you know how Naples moves, you know which parts feel close, which parking situations are annoying, and which parts of town are worth your energy. That's why Day 4 belongs on the north side. Start with breakfast at Sunburst Cafe. It's warm, relaxed, and just right for a morning that doesn't need drama. By the 4th day, breakfast should feel pleasant, not like another event you have to manage. After that, head to Clam Pass Park and let this be your real beach block. Clam Pass is one of the smartest beach choices in Naples because getting there is part of the fun. You've got 35 acres of coastal habitat, a 3/4-mile boardwalk, and a free tram if your legs are over it by this point in the trip. Some people love doing the whole walk through the mangroves. Some people are very happy to sit down and let the tram handle it. Either option is fine. There's no such thing as cheating on Day 4. There's only making good decisions. This is where timing matters again. Clam Pass has 171 public parking spaces and a $10 pay-to-park fee for non-permit users. So this is not the place to roll in late and hope the vacation gods are feeling generous. Get there earlier, park without the circus, and enjoy the morning while it still feels fresh. Once you make it out to the beach, stay a while. Day 1 gave you the short Gulf look. This is where you actually settle in. Swim if you want. Walk the shoreline. Hunt for shells. Sit there and do almost nothing. That's part of the point of putting this stop at the end. By now, you've earned a beach stretch that doesn't need to be squeezed between 6 other things. After that, the afternoon should stay flexible. If you want one indoor stop before dinner, the Baker Museum is the cleanest add-on. It keeps you on the north side and gives the last day one small culture stop without making the afternoon feel heavy. If the weather is too good to go inside, a short extension to Delnor Wiggins Pass State Park can work instead. Just keep it short and check current access notices before you go so you don't build your last afternoon around old information. That kind of swap is the right way to handle the final day. Go with your energy, not your guilt. A lot of trips get clunky at the end because people feel like they need one more headline stop. You don't. You need a clean finish. For the last dinner, go to the Bay House. That's a strong send-off because it feels tucked away and calm, like Naples giving you one last good evening without making you work for it. You're not going back downtown for one more lap. You're closing the trip in a quieter part of town, which suits this day much better. After dinner, keep the ending simple. Maybe one more look at the water. Maybe nothing but the ride back and that nice last night feeling when a trip actually came together the way it was supposed to. That's enough. Naples never needed a big dramatic ending. It just needed each day to have its own job. Late April into May, and then late October into early December are usually the sweet spots for this trip. You still get warm weather, the beach still feels worth it, and Naples is usually easier to deal with than it is in the heart of peak winter. December through March can be beautiful, but that's also when dinner reservations, parking, and beach access start feeling tighter. If winter is the only time you can go, book early and start early. If you get to choose, shoulder season usually gives you the smoother version of this same 4-day trip,